Clothing is something that I could buy all year round, all the time, and if I do not limit myself, I will do that. Welcome back. If you are in need of a little spring refresh, rebrand for your clothing and outfits, this video I hope will bring some inspiration for you. So today I'm going to talk through my approach to purchasing new clothes and what I'm doing this spring specifically in order to stay on a budget as well as just get pieces that I need to get. I'm going to share my rules or tips and tricks for a wardrobe refresh. So the first thing that I highly recommend is to give yourself a set clothing budget. So this especially is valuable if you're someone who feels guilty about spending money on clothing, or you're the type of person where you go and drop a whole bunch of money on clothes and then you're like, oh shoot, like did I have the money for that? Should I have done that, etc. One way that I've found to be extremely helpful is by just putting money aside every single month for clothing. Even on months when I am not purchasing clothing, I will still put money aside for it. So then I'm building like a fund that I will be able to draw from. And obviously, as you're putting more money into that fund is building, and then you'll have a bigger chunk of money that you can just freely spend and not feel guilty about because you've allocated that money in advance for clothes. My second tip is to only shop a set amount of times per year. This is going to be different for every single person. For me, I find it really valuable to shop at the beginning of the spring for spring and summer, and then at the beginning of the fall for fall and winter. This just works obviously with seasons in Canada, especially because, the spring and summer clothes are very different than the fall and winter clothes. So that's what I find works best. But if you have a higher budget, or if, you maybe want to do that every season, so spring, summer, winter, fall, you could also do that as well. I just find this helps me to intentionally take the time to do what I'm going to explain to you to do. And twice a year is really manageable for me. So when you're wanting to do a refresh, we're going to need some inspiration. Obviously, the first place that we're going to go to find that is going to be Pinterest. If you're not using Pinterest to build your entire dream life, what are you doing? I always have a Pinterest board going of my clothing that I like and outfits and jewelry and all that type of stuff. So I always have one that's constantly going, but it sometimes is useful if you were doing a refresh to go in, make a fresh Pinterest board and just pin stuff that's specific to that season. But always go and start with inspiration, outfits that you're drawn to, things that you really like. Pinterest can be so useful for that. This step is really important, and it's really important that you don't skip this. It is so easy to feel sick and tired of your clothing and feel like you have nothing to wear when your closet is like a disaster and you have not gone through your clothes in a good amount of time. So you need to take a chunk of time. You need to allocate an afternoon, an evening, get yourself a nice sparkling water, a nice drink, and you're gonna go through your closet. And this is usually a big process. I know that it is for me, but I have so many shirts that I'll shove in the back or things that are on the floor, they're not on the hanger, but you're gonna go through everything. You're gonna hang things up, you're gonna fold all the clothes, and you're gonna kind of take an inventory of what you already have. So just making sure that the closet is looking good to go. Because I do this twice a year in the spring and the fall, I like to also box up my summer clothes or my winter clothes depending on what season, and just put them away for the year, and then I'll bring out my new clothes and hang them up as well. So that's something that you can do if that's part of your process. I personally love being able to do that because it just helps me feel like I have a little bit of a new wardrobe come the spring and summer. Once you've done that, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna make a list of everything that you actually need. So what do you need for this new season? Is there any little trends that you want to try? Are there any basics that you need? You're going to make this list two ways. You're going to look at your Pinterest board and pull things out of common things that you see. So if you see a lot of, photos of someone wearing a blazer, or photos of someone wearing a baseball cap or tall socks or whatever, you're going to pull those things out and make a list. And then you're also going to look at your closet and see, is there anything missing? Are my white shirts all stained? Do I maybe need some new bodysuits, things like that. Just making that list and making sure that you actually write that down, a list of the details of what you actually need. The last part is obviously the most fun. It's the actual shopping part. If you are shopping online, what I highly recommend you do, this is a tip from my friend Carleen, is make a Pinterest board, public or private, doesn't matter. This board isn't for inspo, it is just for pinning the things that you're finding online. As you find things online, copy the link, pin it to Pinterest, and then Pinterest will you'll create a board of all the things that you are thinking about buying. This is an awesome feature because it will allow you to see everything from a more holistic perspective. You'll be able to see, okay, is there anything that's like a duplicate of something I'm want to buy from a different store? Is there anything that's kind of similar, or are there colors that clash? Do these colors go together? Obviously, everything doesn't have to go together perfectly. I'm not saying that everyone has to build like a capsule wardrobe or a wardrobe that like is perfectly in sync, but for me, this helps me to just see a more visual perspective of the clothing that I'm getting and if they will work well together. Especially if you are shopping on a smaller budget, you do want to make sure that your pieces are going to be getting you lots of wear. You're not just buying things that are super trendy or things that you're not going to be able to pair with other things in your closet. Overall, those are my best tips and tricks and things that I've implemented and have been doing for my spring wardrobe. I hope this was inspiring. If you have any other tips or things related to this that would be useful, please comment them below. I would really love to know if you guys have any strategies for saving money, refreshing your wardrobe, all that kind of thing. But otherwise, we will see you in the next video.